In this video, we'll catch up on the ingresses that happened on the 11th, 12th, and the ingress that's happening kind of immediately today, coming up today on the 13th. There's actually 2 ingresses on the 12th. And you may remember a few days ago we skipped a day. This is because the moon travels at 13 degrees 20 minutes per day on average. But actually, it has a range between about 12 and about 14 degrees per day. But each nakshatra is 13 degrees 20 minutes. So because the moon sometimes moves a lot faster, it can cover 2 nakshatras in one day. And because it sometimes moves a lot slower, it can take more than a day to get to the next nakshatra sometimes. The ingress of the moon into Pushya, or the blossom, has the 8th Tarabala, which is friendship, mitra. So that means that Pushya makes friends with, or is friendly towards, is friendly for Mula, the nakshatra from which we began our lunar cycle with the new moon. So what's Pushya all about? Pushya is Juvata Prastat Yajamana Avastat, which is a poetic way of saying that Pushya makes wise, effective actors by giving them good advice. So Pushya is all about being effective as a result of having really good advice and advisors, like good role models, good teachers, good parents. So the message here is, in order to get out from under all the conspiracy and to deal with all the deception and lies that are in our life, it's important for us to get advice and perspective from people that are outside of that system. If you're embroiled in some kind of controversy and deceptions with a group of friends, don't turn to one of those friends for advice and guidance. Get your advice and guidance from good, impartial people. Then on the 12th, just a little bit after midnight, like 20 minutes after midnight Pacific time, the moon ingressed into the next nakshatra, which is called Ashlesha, the embrace. This Ashlesha nakshatra is all about passion, lust, attachment, embracing. The Tarabala for Ashlesha to Mula is 9. Very friendly, Atimitra. So it's a very good nakshatra for Mula. What does it mean? It means that we have to let our passions fuel us. And we have to be inspired by our passions. And we have to hold on, embrace, and don't let go to the goal that we have in mind. Hang on tight to that enthusiasm that comes from passion, because you'll need it to deal with the sorts of things that Mula insists that you deal with. Then, on the same day, the 12th, at the end of the day, at about 10:20 Pacific time, the moon moved to a new nakshatra. The nakshatra after Ashlesha is Magha, which is the constellation of the throne. Magha has the Tarabala of 1 relative to Mula. So this is a difficult nakshatra for Mula, and it signifies a major thing that Mula has to contend with. So what does Mula have to contend with? Mula has to contend with hierarchy. Mula signifies the quest to uproot bad seeds. Hierarchy is the established order. It has its roots deep in those seeds and deceptions. So the hierarchy is always going to try to stop Mula from doing what it's doing, because when Mula does what it does, it weakens the foundations of the hierarchy. So the way that Magha works is by demoralizing, by showing demoralizing power, by making you feel like you can't possibly do anything about this. So remember, this is the final major challenge. This is the last time we're going to get a Tarabala of 1 in the whole cycle. So this is the final major challenge. The feeling that you can't do anything about it. You were vegetarian? Well, that's not going to do anything. Oh, you're fighting for equal rights? Well, that's not going to do anything. It's impossible to do anything. The world is terrible. It's always going to be terrible no matter what you do. That's the Magha relationship to Mula that blocks Mula from really getting to its final stage. The thing about Mula is that not only is it hierarchy, but it's tradition and parental. So it's like the inheritance of some stuff from your childhood, or the inheritance of some stuff from parents and generations gone by establishes the hierarchy of how things are. So it's time for us to realize that, we can do something about the way we were raised. We can do something about the society that we live in. And little cracks, little steps forward made by a lot of people make a big difference. So you yourself don't have to change the world because, like Magha says, you can't. But it's not just you. If you give up, everybody gives up. If you keep going, everybody keeps going. Because you are everybody, right? What's the difference between you and everybody? So keep at it. Don't be demoralized. Then finally, at about 8 o'clock, 8:30ish Pacific time tonight, we're going to have the moon ingress into Purva Phalguni. And this Tarabala is 2. That is the Tarabala of Sampad, or wealth. It enriches Mula. So what is this husband Nakshatra all about? The husband Nakshatra, its quality is to make a promise and be strong on it. It's time to make a promise, to make a threat. Remember, the nature of Mula is not necessarily to fight it head on directly. So the threat isn't, I'm going to kill you. The threat is, I'm going to expose you. I'm going to tell the world what you are. So make that threat and make it a promise and keep the promise.